Hey folks, guess what time it is? That's right, another drama video. On January 12th, 2023, I made a video saying that I'm leaving drama altogether. At first, I was keeping true to that promise. The next 4 videos had nothing to do with drama. But during both the Seth the Programmer and the Daft Pina dramas, I noticed that aside from live streams, no one made a response to either Seth's or Daft Pina's response to their dramas. One of the main reasons why I left the drama community in the first place is because you have to talk about a drama when it's hot and new. Sure, people do that with other types of content as well, but when it comes to drama, I think you should fact check a little bit more. Of course, there's exceptions like Turkey Tom and The Right Opinion, but normally if you want to get views, you gotta get it out quick. It's way less profitable to correct your mistakes or talk about the drama when it's no longer hot, even when new information is coming out. Just look at the views on Harley's most recent video on Daft Pina, then compare it to their previous video on Daft that came out when the Just Stop and Ellis Mark drama was really hot. Yes, it is true that longer videos tend to get more views, but look at my latest video on Daft, it's even longer! I have more subs and a better sub to view ratio than Harley does. But did I talk about it when it was hot? Nope, so it didn't do as good. As of late, I've also been seeing people say things along the lines of, "You're reviving the drama, and you're just doing this to get extra views," even though the evidence completely contradicts that claim. If I talk about a drama after it's no longer a big deal, I'm probably gonna get less views. That's just a fact. I don't even do videos on drama for views. It only takes a cursory glance at my channel to see that my media reviews, on average, tend to do better. Sure, not all of them are successful, but neither are my drama videos. My drama videos also on average are way longer, which means they should do better, and my channel was focused on drama for a very long time. I do these drama videos to bring justice. I have a big channel, which gives me a lot of power, and with great power comes great responsibility. The latter of which is something that a lot of the people I talk about lack. I don't want to dunk on someone like Illuminati. It would get me a lot more views. But there's enough people talking about her that I can't really add anything to the conversation. She ain't getting away with shit. Every step she makes is being recorded by dozens of people. But there's someone who I am familiar with, a guy who I have information on that has not been brought to the public. While he certainly has been brought to justice by both Leo Convoy and Hopeless Peaches, I feel as if though there are too many people giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I now see that I was 100% far too soft on the guy when I made my last video on him. That's right, today we're talking about Spoctor, a YouTuber with a decently sized platform who I share a lot of my audience with. He did something that I can't simply ignore. I just gotta say this to a lot of big YouTubers out there. Jesus Christ, can you guys stop looking around for cupcakes for 5 minutes? Now, if you haven't seen my Spoctor video that I uploaded near the end of 2022, or you don't remember it all too well, I'll do a quick little recap for you. Spoctor is a drama YouTuber who grew to be the biggest commentary channel to use an avatar. He started off in the DeviantArt ranting community before he moved on to general commentary or art commentary or whatever you want to call it. One day in the year of 2018, he had a long list of accusations against himself, the worst ones being that he was into kids. People brought up that he was hitting on 16, 15, 14, and even 13-year-olds, while also leaving out the fact that during a lot of those times he was 15 to 17. The person who started these accusations, known as stories, pretended to be 8 years old, a claim from them that I debunked on my old channel before all these allegations went down. Biggest piece of evidence that I had, by the way, is they said in a video that they learned what sex was when they were 7, and then they learned more over the years. I'm pretty sure there's a year between 7 and 8, and not years.
I remember knowing what sex was at 7 years old because the radio songs told me what it was. I learned more over the years.
Whoa, you learned what sex was when you were 7, and you learned more over the years? How many years are there between 7 and 8? Keep in mind, she did say years, which is plural. So how many years are there between 7 and 8? I say about a decade, maybe a dozen years. Or maybe it's just one, but you said years as in plural, so that can't be the right answer.
But not everybody saw my video, so the accusation that he was hitting on an 8-year-old really was not good for his reputation. A 16-year-old trying to be with an 8-year-old is very frowned upon, especially when you consider the fact that a lot of people thought he was older than 16. So did he fight back against the allegations and defend himself? No, he just apologized. But luckily for him, he was later saved by other YouTubers, one of which was me. Now in retrospect, it's a very big red flag that he apologized and admitted to the allegations against himself. But at the time, people brushed this off as him being a scared young teen, and not knowing what to do, or not being fully aware of the allegations against himself. Put a pin in this for now. Something that could have taken him down made him more loved than ever before, and he kept on growing. But the Toby and Peaches drama happened. I have plenty of videos on that topic that I'll link down below if you're interested. It is the biggest drama rabbit hole that I ever had to be a part of. Out of all the videos on the Toby drama, Spoctor's did by far the best, and it's the only one that paints me in a negative light that is still up. I do have tons of issues with it, and it's littered in false information. But right now, it's not the time to go over it, and I think I've talked about the Toby drama enough already. I don't know, maybe one day I'll just do a brief live stream covering it or something. When it came to his videos on the Hopeless Peaches drama, he didn't really help her at all when she was being slandered. Yes, his accusations were worse, but Peaches was getting way more attention to her accusations, and they lasted far longer. To top all of this off, he even used footage from her video about how she was groomed as a kid. Right as he said, she's bad at relationship management. Luckily, his Peaches videos have now been taken down, but what the fuck, dude? Later on, his friend Junkie backstabbed and slandered a few people in the community, like Manga Common, me, Heaton Mitsuru, and FishLizard.zip. Spoctor downplayed what his friend did, and was very dismissive to the feelings of people like Heaton. I mean, like, really dismissive. He seemed really intent on defending Junkie, seemingly for no reason aside from him being his friend. Pay attention to this, by the way, as it does become important later. He made a really bad video about DID that he's already taken down, but it seemed to be the final straw that broke the camel's back. He got called out by people like Linlin and Heaton. Linlin's video was not that good and has already been taken down, but Spoctor tried to use it as a shield from criticism, even though Linlin was only 16 years old and a small channel. By the way, doing this goes against Spoctor's own morals, because he believes that kids shouldn't be in commentary at all, yet he put thousands of negative eyes on her channel. Now, all of this behavior understandably pissed a lot of people off, including the YouTuber Leo Convoy. Leo is known by a lot of people as an online predator hunter. Granted, he's also known for other things, such as his live debates, and often being a middleman between two people who are beefing. He has helped me along with a lot of other people tons of times, but I think the real thing he wants to do on YouTube is just review toys. Like most drama YouTube commentators, he hates that label when it's put upon him. I hate to break it to you, Gramps. A lot of us don't know how we ended up here. Most of us started off doing different things. Spoctor was pulled into a call by Hopeless Peaches and Leo Convoy, so Peaches could talk things out with him, and maybe get some closure. Unfortunately, Spoctor just trolled almost the full time, doing things like crumpling a bag of wheat thins.
Very weird.
Oh, hello? What?
Or other forms of mic spamming.
Sounds nice to me.
No. Shit, what the fuck?
He had tons of chances to fix his mistakes. When his video on Junkie dropped, people reached out to him. People like me, Manga Common, Aaron Tempest, and a few more people. We all did this because of what he had to deal with in the past. We wanted to handle it privately. But after so many people have tried to reach through to this guy, I just couldn't take it anymore, especially after I heard the call between him, Leo, and Peaches. So I made my video on him, hoping that it would finally, at long last, get him to hold himself accountable. And he didn't. A few months later, Aaron Tempest made his own video on Spoctor, going through his experience with the guy. And he still didn't hold himself accountable. If a lot of this was a little too hard to follow for you, go check out those two videos. After all of that, I thought it was the end of the Spoctor drama, but I do still have more information on the guy. I'm sure that a lot of you have already seen the videos that Leo Convoy and Hopeless Peaches have made on him. If not, you really should go check them out. Pause this video and go watch them. Just come back later. You can see that there was another call with Spoctor that I was in, and in my video I didn't end up using it. That's because at the time I didn't have access to that recorded call, and I felt as if though my video was already long enough. Something Peaches told me was that she gave Spoctor proof for his video on her drama, but he almost used none of it. If you've seen my first video on Spoctor, then you would know how unfair he was to her when he knew that the drama around her was 99% made up bullshit. So why didn't I go over this? Well, it was because Peaches didn't have proof at the time. Her old Discord where she talked to him was gone. The only one with the proof was Spoctor himself, along with a few screenshots from one of Harley's videos that unfortunately was not sufficient enough evidence.
Spoctor is a content creator who covered this situation, and the way he handled it genuinely angers me. In DMs with Peaches, he discusses how the evidence she provides him completely changes the narrative, then continues to make his video where he says in DMs with her that his video misses the mark and doesn't defend her at all, where he says that he has to go after her for the sake of PR. And I want to pose the question to you, Spoctor. If you're in commentary not to discuss your own thoughts on something, but to provide the most PR appropriate response, maybe you should reconsider your reasons for being in commentary.
But thanks to the second call, we now have evidence that Peaches did give Spoctor the proof.
I want to go into basically what your goal was with the video you made on me.
What do you mean?
Well, essentially, you made your video on me.
Yes.
Your first video. And you already had a lot of... you didn't have, like, everything at that point, but you had a substantial amount of screenshots I sent you and another side. And then you had fucking Creepshow Art, Prison Mate Luke, all that lot who were on the other side who... Creepshow had fucking nothing. She never did. Prison Mate Luke, who fucking either can't read
Yeah.
or whatever. And then you had Omnia, who thought that they were slick by going, oh, I'm not going to share screenshots, but let me just blur out literally half the conversation because that's substantial proof. But when I sent you stuff, you just said, well, do I need to really bring it up? Like, mentioning how, it was just PR, that it was all just business. And then when I came to you another time asking you, like, in February, because I wanted to clarify with something that Shannon was saying, I literally come to you asking, like, could I ask you something privately? And immediately you're like, I'm currently on other topics. I don't intend on revisiting any stuff with you. Just like immediate shutdown. When that wasn't my intent. It just seemed very strange. And then you turned around and basically said that Shannon was showing you substantial proof, which, let's be honest, if she did have substantial proof, she would have shown it. It felt more like a lie or some kind of thing. So I just want to know what the point of your first video was, like, genuinely. Like,
Just to share my thoughts.
Like, were they your thoughts, though? Or were they
It was
your
my
friend's
analysis of everything, but yeah.
So, when you say, I apologize if the video didn't exactly hit the mark, I'm sure it wouldn't, haha, but I had to pull strings for the sake of PR, simply because you can't just up and say Peach is not bad. You gotta show them the rails. And you're not bad, just give this video a few days, see how people take it. And then you continue saying, I wasn't trying to dogpile, and then I say, because at this point I already knew what you were saying, it wouldn't be good branding to be nice to me. And you say, yeah, it's all business in the end.
I mean...
And not only that, but I
YouTube is-
rewatched the videos as well, even just today, before coming into the call with you. And you said things that directly went against what I showed you, like, screenshot-wise. Like, you already knew wasn't true.
That's hard to remember that far back.
For instance, you said a few things with Camila Cuevas, basically saying, essentially with the, if you fell out about the credit, you should have still been friends with her afterwards, despite me showing you that I got harassed by her, that was sent to you beforehand. The fact that I tried to apologize to her multiple times, that was sent to you, and that was not mentioned either. But essentially, you were just trying to frame it in a way that I have to say, if you didn't have those screenshots, that'd be one thing, and I'd take it as like that would be your perspective from what you'd seen. But if I'd shown you proof that she'd been harassing me, clearly it wasn't so cut and dry to me just go, oh, Peach is bad because she's just cutting off someone for no reason. And then with Creepshow Art, I showed you screenshots as well, which showed that she was either, well, let's cut to the fucking chase because we know who she is now. She was just fucking lying. And I showed you proof that she was lying about stuff, like literally just stuff that directly contradicted stuff. And he didn't even consider that at all. Like your section of her section, the most he said was she was a little emotional in her video. He never said anything to do with, you know, the fact that she could be lying at all, despite you knowing that.
I'm trying to recall things, but I think that lines up.
I was in the call when he said this, but I think I either zoned out or I went to go use the little robot's oil change room when he said this.
Because because this isn't a case where I'm trying to catch you out, man. Like the catching out would have been the fucking messages of OPR and all that crap. What I'm asking is like, why? Because I would rather have I'd rather be honest and say, oh, I didn't care, or oh, well, I'm friends with them, or any
really
other.
Want me to be honest?
I would much rather you be honest because that's why I'm asking.
I mean,
you.
I guess like I said in the last call, I do have nothing to lose. It's a combination of like, it's like not really super directly related to my life, and also I know Creepshow a little bit better than I knew you at the time, so I would take a buddy's word over yours.
Would you take a friend's word over literal proof?
If they're a friend, I like to hold their value, the value of their words somewhat high. It's just kind of how I operate.
So this asshat knew that the drama around Peaches was bullshit, but still joined the winning side just because it was the easier thing to do. He was already called out for this by Harley, and even myself over 2 years ago, and he just denied it. Spoctor in his second Peaches video starts off by defending himself against Harley. Really, bro? That's how you start your video? You couldn't start with, I don't know, how 99% of the allegations about Peaches were full of more shit than Coyote Lovely's mouth?
Where he says that he has to go after her for the sake of PR. And I want to pose the question to you, Spoctor. If you're in commentary not to discuss your own thoughts on something, but to provide the most PR appropriate response, maybe you should reconsider your reasons for being in commentary.
Now, what you're saying in this video would be a very valid point on me if the context behind my wording wasn't misrepresented so strongly. In the first screenshot you provide, I exclaimed that the narrative that was given to me had changed drastically. In the screenshot, we talked about compensation, a situation that I brought up in my previous video regarding Peaches and Camila Cuevas, where I criticized Camila for failing to properly have a conversation with Peaches about selling their collaborative work. That she did have permission to sell the posters based on this screenshot here, where they like briefly mentioned it for a little bit. Is that it? Like an exchange of ideas? It appears here that nothing was actually set in stone. Especially after seeing this screenshot, I'd imagine if you were attempting to make monetary gain off the poster, you would at least give a lot more discussion into the matter. You didn't provide any further discussion of how you guys would sell the poster, and I'm very confused as to why Peaches would get a lot of slack for feeling like she's been wronged for a creator trying to sell off her work without partial compensation. The narrative that Camila had actually talked to Peaches was ultimately fractured, and Peaches came to me with information basically proving that they never had a proper conversation on that. And that narrative that changed was the narrative that Camila had permission to sell her work, when in reality, Peaches had no idea that Camila was doing it. To which I responded, you shouldn't play with money like that. I proceeded to include this new narrative in my video to criticize Camilla. Nowhere did I leave that out of my vid. I spoke my mind in my video. I said everything I wanted to say regarding the entire situation. A lot of the stuff I actually left out was regarding Creepshow and her general handling of the situation. I believe that personally, and I've told her this personally as well, criticism and speaking your mind publicly has no substantial merit if you can't back what you're saying with some kind of physical demonstration of what someone has done. I will trust my friends, but I'll take what they say with a grain of salt without the proper evidence.
Okay, wow, there's a lot to unpack here. Spoctor is right about one thing. Harley is indeed wrong when they say that Spoctor didn't defend Peaches at all. Spoctor, as he proves, did defend her a little from Camilla Cuevas and a little bit from Prismate Liar. But Spoctor is still misrepresenting what Harley said. Harley didn't talk about the collaboration. Spoctor acts like they did, but Harley didn't. Spoctor says Harley misrepresented him and then does it himself. Peaches gave you proof of what Creepshow Art lied about, and you just ignored it. And you didn't bring it up even after Creepshow Art was outed as a liar. By the way, Spoctor defends himself in his second Peaches video for 10 minutes! That's 2/5 of his video. Now, I agree, he has every right to defend himself, but he did the same thing later on when he responded to Heaton's and Linlin's videos on him. He seems more concerned with defending himself, which is proven by him doing it at the start of both videos. And it takes up a lot of the runtime. Now, this isn't that important, but remember my first video on Spoctor when I said this? Now, I have no proof for this, so don't take my word on it, but I had an unrecorded call with Spoctor where I asked him about the whole using Peaches grooming video as soon as he said she's bad at relationship management. What he said to me was, well, I didn't actually see that video. You downloaded a video you didn't see and used it as stock footage? That seems weird. I didn't have proof for this at the time, so I would understand if people didn't believe me. Well, now I do have proof!
When Jar came and asked you, like, I don't ever expect Jar to be very hostile. When he asked you about why you used my grooming stuff, you said, well, I've never seen the video.
I didn't
Did
watch
y'all
the
want-
video. No.
Did you know what the video was about?
I honestly didn't.
You saw a video
Not-
saying
not
I
when I
was
threw it.
groomed and...
No, I didn't. Well, I didn't know the details and the extent of the details. No, I just.
Do you need details? Do you know what?
Did
Do you know what
download a
child
video?
grooming is?
Heck, did you just download a video called grooming and just use?
Dude, it
I
was
thought
so
this-
long
I thought it
ago.
was
I don't
part of-
remember. I really don't remember. It was so long
The
ago.
video wasn't a part of another video, was it? Or was it just a video titled grooming?
It was just the story time on me being groomed, yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't remember exactly where I got the footage. I probably got it from your channel, but put
You would have
in
got
there.
it from my channel, and you would have known exactly what it is.
Once again, if you want to see the full call, you gotta check out Leo's video. It's mostly just Spoctor acting like a scared little boy whose mother just caught him jacking off, along with him laughing strangely, and just not seeming to be in the moment like at all. To be perfectly honest with you, he almost seems to be as high as a kite. Oh, and after the call ended, Spoctor ran crying to Harley's Discord, saying that everyone in the call was ganging up on him and being super mean to him. If you have heard the full call, then you can see that that statement is about as true as a Prismate Luke video. But now it's time that we get into the worst thing that Spoctor has done. Just like with the last call, if you want to hear the full thing, then you have to go and watch Leo Convoy's video. We are now getting into him admitting to holding on to 13-year-old's nudes that he got when he was 16 and held on to months after he turned 18. Here's all the important parts of the call.
I want to know, like, the full story, basically.
You want to know the full? Is that all this is about?
Yeah,
Because
that's it.
I really don't want this getting out because it's just a bunch of like shit that I want to move past because it's
I know.
it's a mistake
I
I
know.
made and I want to be able to move past it.
You want to move past it? I bet you do. Because if this got out, it would make you look super bad. But here's a way it could have stayed under lock and key. Don't make enemies with people. Something you did indeed try to do for a little bit, but it didn't end up working in your favor. One often meets his destiny on the road he takes to avoid it.
I know.
And that's all this is because you guys know I'm a stupid fucking idiot and I do horny shit.
Yes.
But I'm not a fucking pedo. And I know I'm not a pedo.
Wow! EDP said the same thing!
So, yeah, I was like 16 when we around that time. She was 13. It's only a 3-year age gap.
Okay, so a lot of people do use the 3-year age gap thing, even me from time to time. I don't believe that it's right for an 18-year-old to go to jail for having whoopee with a 17-year-old. I remember when the Spoctor drama started, people like Digby the Goat said, a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old is weird, and it pushes it. And I think PK Russell said that the 13-year-old was almost 14, and Spoctor just turned 16. But this is yet another 13-year-old, and we don't know how close she was to turning 14. And once again, she's the second one! At least as far as we know, there could be others. But even then, the bigger issue here is that he kept the nudes past when he turned 18!
Did it get graphic at any point?
Did it get graphic?
Yes.
Admittingly, yeah, but, you know.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus on a motorcycle. I don't think I want to know.
Especially after I turned 18, I was like, I had the drive. It was like sitting on my counter, and I looked at it and I was like, why do I still fucking have this?
So let me get this straight. You held on to the nudes of a 13-year-old past the point you turned 18. Okay, let's take the most charitable interpretation. Maybe Spoctor just forgot he had it, and then came across it a little later. Okay, why would anyone believe him after all the lies he's already told? Also, who in the world would forget about having nudes of a 13-year-old? Especially someone who was falsely accused of being a pedo. Like, if I got nudes of a cupcake when I was old enough to drive a car, and was falsely accused of being a pedo, but luckily I had someone to defend me, I would smash those nudes faster than Joe Biden heading to a children's barbershop. Wait, I used that joke too many times already. I would smash those nudes faster than EDP heading to get a cupcake. Ah! Yeah, there ain't no way he just forgot about them. Also, Spoctor said in the recorded call that he had the nudes on a USB drive and it was sitting on top of his computer. So it was already out and about. How many people put a USB drive on top of their computer and forget about it? Especially when it has fucking CP on it. Unless he has early stage Alzheimer's, I don't believe he forgot.
Like, what is Ponder saying? She didn't even talk to me about it at all.
Yesterday, she was reading through the messages that, you and her had. And the way it was worded, from what I remember, she made it seem like you were trying to get... it seemed like you were trying to get her to defend you in the future in case this comes out.
Yes, because I'm terrified.
Well, Ponder defended you once. Maybe she'll do it a second time. Or, you can be a man for once in your life and do it yourself. Like, imagine expecting that an almost 30-year-old woman who lives with her mother who defended you once would do it a second time.
To be honest.
You think Ponder's gonna do anything?
I don't think it is. Unless, you make a video about it and, turns into a big old mess.
I don't want to touch it. I want to bury it as best I can.
Should... As long as that video that Manus made doesn't go out even further, and no one says anything, because I'm not gonna look at it. I'm not gonna do anything. I looked at it. I'm like, whatever. I'm done with this.
I do want to talk to Ponder though. I want to clear things up.
All
right. If I can at some point, but if she'll even respond.
Okay, so pay attention to this part about Spoctor hoping that the word doesn't get out about this video, because it will be important later.
We can't always be there to help you with this, because I have my own life to worry about.
I'm aware. I'm aware. I just don't want to. The main thing was that I didn't want you guys against me. That was my concern.
Yeah, I'm not against you.
We just wanted to talk because we needed to clear things up, because
that's what I want.
Alright.
Yeah.
I just don't want people against me.
And people in hell want ice water. Coyote Lovely wants shit in his mouth. EDP wants to be literally anyone else in the world. And I want to be well respected. But unfortunately, those things just ain't gonna happen.
Because if I make enemies, then they'll fucking put it out there as well.
That's a fantastic idea! Just don't do anything stupid like using Peach's video about her experience being groomed as stock footage as you say she's intensely bad at relationship management. Or Mike spamming a call with a guy who's a well-known predator hunter.
I wouldn't say Ponder would do that because that's not really in Ponder's nature.
Yeah, Ponder's not gonna like an exposed video.
Oh yeah, Faye Ghost, you know that Ponder won't out people all too well. Like, didn't you make up a story about you sexually assaulting 2 trans women, which pushed them into committing toaster and bath or something? And then Ponder, Dulu, Izzy Hazard, and a few other people just kept their mouths shut about it for the longest time? Yeah, that was a weird thing that happened.
Literally, it's destroyed. I fucking crushed it. I wiped it, I formatted it, and crushed it.
Can you take a picture of it and show us that you did crush it?
I flushed it down. Dude, this was.
Literally,
do you know this was like ages ago, right?
This was like.
This was ages ago.
Yeah.
This was like the beginning of 2019.
Pretty much.
All right then.
Now, Spoctor is technically right here. He could just take another random flash drive, stomp on it, take a picture of it, and say, well, here's your proof, I destroyed it. But still, he could be lying about destroying it, we don't know for sure. All he did say was that if he took pictures of a destroyed flash drive, it wouldn't prove anything, which he's right about, but it doesn't help prove his innocence. And even if he could somehow prove that he destroyed it, he still admitted that he didn't get rid of it until early 2019, which is several months after he turned 18. And that's the issue here. Now, this is all of the call that I'm willing to go over. I think that the most amazing thing of all is that he was caught because he admitted to it. And mind you, that he knew it was being recorded. He could have said that after he received the nudes, he shortly deleted them afterwards. Whether he's telling the truth or not, it sounds believable enough, and it would have made him look far more innocent. Like, when it comes to the EDP situation, there was a way he could have easily gotten out of it, aside from the obvious of, you know, not doing what he did in the first place. But when he showed up to that infamous location and walked up to those guys who asked him what he was doing, and he told them he was just on his way to get a cupcake. When he parked his car, he could have taken out his phone, started recording, and when those guys walked up to him with all those printed screenshots, he could have just recorded them and said, man, look at these bozos. I sent them a picture of my shit and they thought I was serious? I mean, for the love of God, who hits on a woman by sending them a picture of my shit? By the way, you guys, how did my shit look? Did you like seeing it? I bet you did, because it was just like your plan. A big pile of shit. I knew it was a setup from the beginning, but just to test it out, I sent you a picture of my droppings. What kind of 13-year-old girl in the world is attracted to a fat black guy who sends her a picture of his yesterday's lunch? If EDP did that, got on recording and uploaded it, he would have looked like such a boss. Sure, some people would be mad at him, but it would be less than 1% as it is in this timeline. Yeah, that's something I've never understood about famous guys who are into 13-year-old girls. They should know clear as day, if they ever get caught, their life is over. But they get caught in some of the most stupid ways. Either they fall for a super obvious trap, or they admit it on a call that they know is being recorded. It's disturbing because it makes me think that only the really stupid ones get caught. But now it's time for all of you who have already heard these calls in full, the evidence that I have that has not been brought to the public yet. The video that originally brought these allegations to light, the one that Spoctor, Faghost, and Junkie were talking about in that call, is something that I believe I found out about in late February of 2020. It was not a good video at all, and I finished a response video to it on March 4th, 2020. I really didn't have anything else to talk about around that time. And Spoctor was my friend. I didn't want him to go through these allegations that I believed were false a second time. But after the video was finished, I decided to talk to Spoctor and show it to him. You know, so I could hear his thoughts on the video, get his input, and see if there's any more evidence I missed or if I got something wrong. It was a very long time ago, so my memory is a little fuzzy on the details. But from what I remember, we had a VC together, and he asked me not to upload the video, saying that people like Junkie, Faghost, and Ponder already knew about it. All four of them agreed that because it was on a small channel, it was best not to talk about it. He told me it was best if I didn't upload the video. The video I was responding to was already irrelevant, and Spoctor just wants to put the stories and Pentagon drama behind him. It also wouldn't be fair to Junkie, Faghost, and Ponder, because they all agreed to not cover that video. I told him that the deadline for my first sponsorship ever with Femora was only a few more days away. I needed a video to upload, and my editor at the time, Mr. Cake Dragon Man, probably wouldn't be able to make the deadline deadline. So Spoctor offered to do something incredibly nice for me. If I gave him a video to edit, he would do it for free. I was over the moon about it, and that's why my Sovereign Citizen video, the video with my first sponsorship ever with Femora, was the one video of mine that was edited by Spoctor. Isn't it weird that I got a channel with more subs than me to edit a video for free? Well, as a robot of my word, I decided to not upload the video and just keep it unlisted on my channel. But he seemed to not even want it to be unlisted, he wanted it to be fully deleted. And as a robot of my word, I lied and said I did. Something in my gut just told me I should hold on to it, just in case. I have held on to this for over 3 years now. I had no plans to ever release it to the public. But given the circumstances of everything that has happened, and considering that he didn't help me out during the Toby drama, when a small part of the agreement for me not uploading the video was that he would also defend me if I ever found myself in hot water, I think it's about time for this video to finally see the light of day, so you guys can ask yourself, why the hell did he not want me to upload this when all I'm doing is defending him? Oh, and by the way, this part is only in the robot voice, so if you don't like the robot voice, put the video at 2 times speed, it kind of gets rid of it.
Just a robot. Okay, so you guys remember the whole Spoctor drama situation, right? With stories saying that she was 8 years old and a whole bunch of people believing her without any proof. Especially Pentagram. Then Stories and Pentagram, along with a whole bunch of other people, accused Spoctor of a whole bunch of different nonsense. Ponder came in and saved the day, yada yada yada, you all know the story. And honestly, I'm really tired of recapping the story. If you're not familiar with the whole Spoctor drama, I'll link a few videos I have done about it down below. This whole situation is over a year old at this point, but at least it's finally over, right?
No, motherfucker, of course not.
So I came across this video called New Spoctor Allegations, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of comments saying, come on Jar, this is a guy with a small YouTube channel and the video got barely any views. Well, I don't care. If you're gonna accuse someone of things this serious, you should be responded to regardless of your size. Also, if anyone's gonna comment, this guy's clearly trolling, this is a troll video, Jar, you fell for a troll. Well, if the guy is trolling, then that's even worse. If he was serious and everything he said came from the heart, then at least I could understand where he's coming from. If he's trolling and falsely accusing someone as a joke, then that's even worse. Trolling can be harmless, but with something like this, it's clearly not. You can't use trolling as a defense for everything. Hey Judge, I know I killed 5 people, but I was just trolling.
I want to handle this as best as I can, so there's no foul play on either side, because it's already rough going after Spoctor because of that fact, because he has already been falsely accused of the same exact thing.
Well, if you know he's already been falsely accused of something like this before, then you better have some pretty strong evidence to back up your allegations.
Anyway, some ground rules I'd like to discuss before continuing this video. Like I said, these are all allegations. My goal of this video is not to cancel Spoctor, do anything like that.
Okay, that's nice that he said this. I'm pretty sure he won't say anything later on in the video that completely contradicts this.
My goal is to get the truth out of everyone in this situation, and that means that I am gonna be going at this as peacefully as possible, as hard as that's gonna be, because fuck Spoctor. It's already rough going after Spoctor because of that fact, because he's already been falsely accused of the same exact thing.
Whoa! Where did that come from? I'm gonna try to be neutral, I'm gonna try to stay fair. By the way, fuck Spoctor.
I'm not gonna be talking at all about those previous accusations. If anything, that just kind of adds to the fact that he's been a creep prior to this specific topic.
So you're using the proven to be fake previous allegations as evidence that he's a creep. Oh, okay. Now, before someone comments, okay, Jar, when he said the previous allegations is just more evidence that he's a creep, he's talking about the screenshots where he was kind of acting a bit creepy, not the more major stuff they accused him of. And I understand that, but Just wait until you hear what his definition of a creep is.
I honestly know nothing about Spoctor prior to this. The most I knew about Spoctor was through Simply Dad's video that he made on Spoctor and a couple other creators. From what Simply Dad has said, Spoctor sounds like a cunt, so I've always kind of associated Spoctor as being a cunt.
Oh god, okay. Now everything is starting to make sense. Now, I'm not going to talk that much about Simply Dad, mainly because, well, this video isn't about him. But Simply Dad barely even talks about Spoctor in his Spoctor video, mainly because the video is not focusing on just Spoctor. Most of the things he said about Spoctor was just speculations or allegations with little to no proof. I think my favorite part was when Simply Dad talked about the halo effect and how people see Spoctor as a god who can do no wrong. And then just a few months later, the whole Stories of Pentagram situation happened. Just, man, that point aged like milk.
So here's the truly disturbing part. I mean, like, when was the last time you did stuff with tech? And then Fish's response, just the other day we had a call and did, you know. And it just felt weird and I faked an orgasm to end it quicker. I hate when I'm stuck in. From what I know, Tech isn't into Jeff, but who knows at this point. Tech is dating Jeff, confirmed, pretty much, ... That's why he had to break it off with my friend unless he lied to her. What about me? Is he just using me because I satisfy his fucking fantasies? A blank girl who moans cutely for him? I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Wow, guys, this evidence is blowing my mind. Someone is saying things about Spoctor. They have no evidence, but they're saying things about them. Wow, this is some hard evidence right here.
And then she says, I'm gonna fucking just bang my arms. Toad says, please don't. Why shouldn't I? I'm shaking and I just want to stop because I'm here to help you through this. No, I want to do this to myself, deal with this myself. I know a lot of people who get wrapped up in relationships like this. They think that there's no way out. They think that this is the only safe solution is staying with them, whatever. And this is a lot different. This is an online relationship. This is, you can get out of it whenever you want. It's close your laptop. As simple as that, basically. But I know there's a lot of other psychological barriers, I guess, that prevent her from doing this.
There are barriers that prevent her from doing this, I guess. So you're guessing, you don't even know for sure. Just, my god.
You're a fucking idiot!
Again, this is a 14-year-old girl with a underdeveloped brain. It is very easy to manipulate their mind and make them think what they want to think or what they need to think or whatever the fuck.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you? It's very easy to manipulate them into what they need to think. If you said it's very easy to manipulate them into what they shouldn't think, you would have a leg to stand on, but your point confuses me so much.
Not only is Spoctor preying on a 14-year-old girl, he is essentially ruining her life.
Betweer.
Leading her to self-harm.
How is he leading her to self-harm? Is it his intention? A situation I went through a really long time ago before the Just a Robot persona was even a thing. Someone who I didn't even know and never even spoken to said they attempted suicide because of me. I'm sorry, but if you're going to attempt suicide and I didn't want you to attempt suicide and I never even contacted you, that's on you, buddy, not me. Unless I know what Spoctor did to this girl, I'm not going to blame him for what she did. She could be a psycho, or she could be lying about hurting herself. Offense is taken, not given. Especially if there was no offense given in the first place.
There are only a few things I would never wish on my worst enemy, because honestly I'd wish a lot of things on my worst enemy. But depression, suicide, and loss is definitely not one of those things.
Wow, you wouldn't wish that stuff upon your worst enemy? You sound like such a great guy. I sure hope your next point doesn't completely contradict this.
Those can ruin a person's life. If Spoctor is truly doing all this, then I don't even know what the fuck to say. Die.
What? So you wouldn't wish depression, suicide, or loss upon your worst enemy, but you'll wish death upon someone, or at least tell them to die. And it was at this point where I thought this guy might have been a troll.
It gets worse, because Shy Gal confronted Spoctor about all this, because apparently this has happened before with another girl. Deleted user Spoctor.
Whoa, hold on, stop. That's not Spoctor. That's a deleted user. Yes, it could be Spoctor. I mean, after all, his Discord account was deleted, I know, because he contacted me recently and told me. But just because Spoctor has a deleted Discord account, it doesn't mean all deleted Discord accounts are Spoctor. Spoctor has a deleted Discord account. This is a deleted Discord account. Therefore, they're the same.
Spoctor's response to all of this, all these screenshots that I just read to you, was, I'm sorry about all of that. That was his response. All the shit I just read, he just said I'm sorry about it.
Again, not Spoctor, it's a deleted user. And second, he apologized? Wow, that's really nice of him. Most people don't even do that. And if quote-unquote Spoctor denied doing this stuff, you would still be on his ass. But anyways, I want all of you watching this video to get ready for the most legit Discord conversation you've ever heard in your life.
And then he said, this was recent. He said, I did it again. Fuck. She said, you are the most disgusting piece of shit I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. I was nice, I was civil, I trusted you, and you pull a lie out of your ass. I won't say anything.
Who talks like this through text? Yes, people do talk like this in real life. Someone will say, you lied to me. The other person will say, and then the person will interrupt and say back, you are disgusting. But people don't talk this way through text. Someone doesn't say, and then just stop. You send your whole message all at once.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Haha, funny meme, except for you didn't get him, you got a deleted user. And your evidence is a conversation that is so staged it would make Fox Goodman and Matt Spicer blush.
I mean, come on. How the fuck are you gonna admit to it?
Okay, so assuming this is Spoctor, which I highly doubt it is, Spoctor did admit to the whole Stories and Pentagram situation at first, because he was peer pressured into doing it. Spoctor is a guy who can be peer pressured into apologizing even when he did nothing wrong.
It didn't look that bad because of the whole blurring out. But no, she really knew what she was doing, and she even brought it to him, and he fell right into that trap and fucking responded to it.
I fail to see how quote-unquote Spoctor fell for a trap in any way, shape, or form. Did you do this? Yes. Haha, you fell for my trap.
It also follows up with, I am a disgusting piece of shit. Dude, I have an idea, I know. How about you fuck off? He said, okay. That was kind of funny.
Haha, that is funny. So funny it seems completely staged. I mean, is it just me, or does this seem like one of those hashtag that actually happened stories?
He used a few girls for moaning calls, consistently cheated on his partner, always said he changed but never did, received... this one is the one regarding the screenshot. He received nudes that were saved onto a flash drive of a 14-year-old girl while he was 17. Had her blame herself for having feelings for him and is an incompetent person in general when it comes to solving problems. Yeah. No. This is kind of where I drew the line in this whole situation. Flirting is flirting. For a lot of the part, it is harmless. I'll even admit to that. Actual naked pictures, is a line I don't even know where the fuck it is. It's so far past the fucking line. Pictures of a 14-year-old girl on a flash drive while you were near 18. This is straight up predator shit. This is some Chris Hansen shit right here.
Actually, it's not, and I'll explain it by playing a clip from the most bizarre scene in any movie ever.
How old are you? 20. She's a 17-year-old girl. So we can work this two ways. One, I punch you right in the mouth and you call the police on me.
Dad.
Or two, I just call the cops on you because this is illegal. She's a minor.
We're protected by the Romeo and Juliet laws. We dated for a little while. I was a sophomore and he was a senior. It's fine.
No, it's not fine.
We've got a pre-existing juvenile foundational relationship. Statute 2705-3.
Yeah, that was such a weird scene. The actress who played that girl at the time was 18, not 17. And the writers for Transformers 4 knew about this law, but they didn't know that the age of consent in Texas was 17? Now, I don't know what state Spoctor is from, and even if I asked him, it doesn't matter because I don't know what state or country this girl is from. But if there's a 3-year gap or less, it's usually seen as okay in the eyes of the law. Especially if Spoctor was still a minor at the time. Just because he was almost 18 doesn't mean he's 18. Hey, are you drinking alcohol? Yes, but I'm almost 21. So? Oh, yeah, good point. The only one who broke the law in this instance is the 14-year-old girl. This clip from Family Guy will explain it.
I'm sorry, Lois, but it's not that simple. When Chris sent that picture, he was technically distributing child pornography.
Child pornography? Joe, that's crazy. He's just a teenager who made a bad choice.
I don't know what to say, but the laws just haven't caught up to how cool kids are now.
And here are the screenshots. Text said, I have immense regret. Fish said, I am so sorry for overreacting and being so dependent on you. A while ago, I crushed and snapped it and flushed my flash drive down the toilet. She said I should have kept my distance. Honestly, no recovery. They're gone. I can't be who I was anymore. So this is Spoctor admitting to having a flash drive.
Oh my god, he has a good point here. Spoctor just admitted to having a flash drive. And I gotta come clean, everyone. I also have a flash drive. And I bet a lot of you do too. And actually, now that I think about it, what does this have to do with anything? Just because a 14-year-old girl sent him nudes, it doesn't mean he has them on his flash drive that he destroyed. What is the context for this?
I feel like people don't understand how underdeveloped 14-year-old brains are. That's why I don't suggest smoking weed at all until you're 18, because fucking with your brain while it's still developing is permanent damage right there, boys.
Well, first of all, your brain is still developing until you're 25, but that's not the point. Notice how he keeps bringing up the age of this girl. She's 14, she was only 14. But he neglects to mention that quote-unquote Spoctor was only 17. His brain was also still developing. It's so weird when people prey on small girls, everybody's saying,
"They're only a child, how dare you take advantage of a defenseless girl?"
But when people prey on boys who are the same age, there's a huge double standard. Head recently did a video about this, I'll link it down below, it's pretty good, please go check it out.
This YouTube community is so weird. There's so much unnecessary respect for everyone. It really is way more political than it needs to be.
It's weird because people have respect for one another. I think that's a good thing. I'm tired of people not giving others the benefit of the doubt and interpreting things in the least charitable way possible. This is just like the Sonic 93 video I did, where someone was saying, there is no way Char's video wasn't done dishonestly.
He DM'd her on Twitter shortly after, I think like the next day. He even sent her a friend request.
He even sent her a friend request. Oh my god, Spoctor needs to be stopped at all costs. He's a madman.
Anyway, so Spoctor is aware of this. He is aware that there is probably something coming at him. If you are listening, this is your chance. I'm not asking for a response video. I'm asking you to DM me personally. And I will follow up with this video. I will make another video if you have any defense for yourself. Anything that justifies what you've done, even though I fucking highly doubt it.
He's full of shit. I really hate this guy's smug attitude. What's his evidence? A few messages from someone who may or may not be Spoctor, the most staged conversation I've ever seen in my life, and an out-of-context screenshot. Wow, yeah, you got Spoctor. How can he possibly defend himself from all of this? If this is all you have, you really should not be so smug.
Please send it to me. I'm giving you a chance. If not, I mean, what the fuck? You're just a pedophile.
Is it just me, or does this guy have the most punchable face you've ever seen in your life? If you don't respond, well, you're just a pedo. I'm giving you a chance to defend yourself. Dude, even if all of the evidence you've shown was completely accurate, he still wouldn't be a pedo because, well, he was 17 at the time, she was 14 at the time. Now, I know I'm gonna get a few comments saying, oh, come on, Jar, this guy's clearly doing this for attention. He wants a response. You don't do something like this for attention. Spoctor went through something like this once, he doesn't need to go through it again. If what this guy is saying is true, he should have way more evidence than just this.
I don't like to break deals I have with people, but he broke his side of the agreement first. And even if he didn't, considering everything he has done, yeah, people really needed to know about this.
My sin is lying. To the devil. I've outsmarted you once again.
But yeah, even though that guy might have been right in the end, his evidence and his way of presenting it was completely terrible. Yet Spoctor was afraid of this video. He was even afraid if other people debunked it for him. Once I took a step back and looked at all the red flags, it painted a very clear and horrifying picture of Spoctor. When the allegations against him first started back in 2018, why did he admit to them and apologize? When the Toby and Hopeless Peaches dramas happened, why did he join the side of Creepshow Luke, Kai, and Omnia? Was it because Junkie was also on their side? Why didn't he want me to upload my video defending him? Why did he only briefly go over the actions of Faye Ghost and greatly downplay what Junkie did? Why did he flip out in a call with a predator hunter? And most of all, why did he quit YouTube when he was just getting the most slight amount of backlash? He was making some decent money on there, and he quit before September. Between the months of September and December, that's when you make the most money on YouTube because of all the holiday ads. I'm not saying he has to be a full-time YouTuber or anything, but he already put so much work into his channel. To just leave it out of the blue like this just seemed dumb. Even if he was making more money at his IRL job, just upload every once in a while. Use it as a second source of income. But now, at long last, it all makes sense. He had something to hide, something he desperately didn't want getting out into the public. If you've seen that Black Mirror episode, Shut Up and Dance, then you might have a vague idea of what lengths people will go to keep a secret like this under wraps. But, despite everything, I still wanted to give him the chance to defend himself. After Leo Convoy and Peaches dropped their videos, I waited for his response, and I waited. And I waited. I started to give up hope if he ever would respond, but as soon as I started recording this video, he finally did. And it was worse than I could have imagined. Say what you will about the responses that Seth the Programmer and Daft Pina made, at least they put more effort into it in less time. At the very least, I thought he was going to put something together that was a bit more than just a short community post with less than half a dozen screenshots. He also took his community post and put it in a video, but he quickly took that down. In the first paragraph, he tries to play to people's empathy, saying that he can't believe people are putting him through this again, and brought up what he went through in 2018. In the second paragraph, he says that people are making him relive days that he wish he never had to. It was a dark period of his life, and he was also a minor back then. While a statement like that will certainly play to people's empathy, it doesn't really debunk any of the claims made against him, but let's keep reading. In the third paragraph, he says that Leo and Peaches are just as bad as Stories and Pentagrin, two people that the community absolutely hates, even to this day. But unlike those two, Leo Convoy and Hopeless Peaches are not calling Spoctor a pedo or a groomer, and they also have substantial evidence. In the fourth paragraph, he says that his sister that he referred to in that call was his actual biological sister. I don't think Peaches nor Leo said she wasn't. In the fifth paragraph, he talks about his online adopted sister. I don't really know what his point is supposed to be. They were bringing her up because she was relevant to the calls you guys had in Senate. She was there with you. In the sixth paragraph, he says that both him and Spooter are grooming victims. He brings up how Siren was trying to smear him with false info because he didn't love her back. But Leo Convoy said in his video that he had a problem with her as well, so I don't see the point Spoctor is trying to make. So far this is bad, but everything takes a massive nosedive when we get to the seventh paragraph. He says that him and the 13-year-old girl were both groomed as minors. Adults encouraged their relationship and the things they did in that relationship. And some of them even participated. Later when he was 18, he realized he still had that drive and knew he needed to get rid of it. Oh my god, this is the exact same excuse that Cosmodor was trying to use. It's not my fault, adults encouraged me to do it. Now, as much as I don't believe it, I'm not going to deny what Spoctor is claiming he went through. It is in the realms of possibility that there were adults grooming the two of them to be in a relationship together, and it is possible that they participated in it as well. I think there's a 99% chance that this story is made up, but by the very small off chance that it's true, I don't want to say someone is lying in case they went through something like this. However, my bigger issue here is that he kept those nudes. Is it possible that he forgot about it and then destroyed it as soon as he saw what was on there? Yes, but he changes the story. He said he just came across it. When in the call he said it was just lying on top of his desktop, and then he asked himself, why do I still have this? And also his actions throughout all of this are not that of an innocent person. It's also pretty suspicious that Spoctor didn't mention that he was groomed anywhere in the call between him, Junkie, and Faye Ghost. Maybe it just slipped his mind, but I'm leaning more towards him just making it up now to gain a little bit more empathy from people. Keep in mind, in that call he referred to it as a fling he had with this 13-year-old girl. Now I don't know about you guys, but if I did what Spoctor did, I wouldn't refer to it as just a fling after I came to the conclusion that the relationship was wrong. And also, this doesn't debunk the accusations Leo Convoy and Hopeless Peaches made. In fact, if anything, it confirms them. In the 8th paragraph, he says he was just a young 16-year-old who had little social experience in life. It wasn't easy for him to tell right from wrong, but now that he's 22, he learned a lot more about the differences between right and wrong. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say I don't think something like this would stand up in court. Also, I'm an autistic guy who was homeschooled all his life. I was given less leeway for actions that were far smaller. I don't know if Spoctor is autistic, he might, but I'm very sure that he wasn't homeschooled, so he has no excuse in my book. In the 9th paragraph, he says that this was years ago, and he doesn't do things like that anymore. Well, that's not a good defense because, well, you still did it. People are not saying you do this nowadays. People's problem is what you did. And the rest of the community post is about how commentators don't see others as people, which is hilarious coming from Spoctor when you consider how he treated Peaches. Stuff about his mental health and how he's the true victim. Says that he's no goddamn pedo or groomer, which Peaches nor Leo Convoy ever called Spoctor in either of their videos. And yes, I watched him in full twice, just to double check. Now, I am positive that a few people are calling Spoctor that, but that allegation neither comes from Leo nor Peaches. He's just trying to make it look like they did to compare them to stories in Pentagrin. And finally, stuff about the Discord messages between him and the 13-year-old girl. Let's go over them and see if they prove anything. Now, obviously, these could be fake. Discord is one of the easiest websites to do that with. All you need is the person's profile picture, their name, and then you can have an account that looks identical to theirs. All you have left to do is have a conversation with it. But let's just assume they're real and see how much they prove Spoctor's innocence. The first screenshot is about someone named Toast. Apparently, they were really creepy towards this girl when they were 14 or 15. But wait a minute, I thought the stuff that happened between her and Spoctor was when she was 13. Okay, this one doesn't help Spoctor, let's check out the next one. Spoctor talks about how he's done with YouTube, and that he's cancelled again. He explains to her that it involves the stuff between her and him, and she says she ain't paying attention to this shit. So it seems to me that this girl, who's still a teenager by the way, between the ages of 17 and 19, is still okay with the image exchange her and Spoctor had when she was 13 and he was 16. But hot take here, does she know about him still holding on to those 13-year-old nudes several months after he turned 18? Because she said she ain't paying attention to his cancellation shit, so she didn't get that information from either Leo or Peach's videos, and it's clear from these screenshots that he also didn't tell her. Well, let's check out the next one. The last one is a little bit cropped, and it also doesn't help his case in any way. I checked his Twitter to see if there was anything else to help his case, and there wasn't. The last thing he tweeted was about how he's logging off of the internet, asking people if they see him in public to just leave him alone, along with stuff about how he's still healing. Well, that's everything. I'm more disappointed in his response than I expected to be. So now that we're at the end of this long road, what do I think of all of this? Well, there will be those who have a problem with Spoctor exchanging nudes with a 13-year-old when he was 16, and others who won't have a problem with it. There will be those that think that he constantly looked at those nudes on his flash drive, up until several months after he turned 18. Others who believe he never destroyed that flash drive, and that he's still looking at those pictures even now. There are even some who believe that he just forgot about it, found them later, freaked out and destroyed it. A few people might think that he misspoke in that call he had with Junkie and Faye Ghost. I don't want to put a serious label like groomer or pedo on someone without being 100% certain. However, I can completely understand the perspective of people who think he is. With his his statements and evidence not proving his innocence, that he's not making a proper response and is running away instead, the fact that he admitted to having the nudes in a call, granted he didn't admit that he was still looking at them, but who the fuck would? He has lied constantly, sometimes even about some of the smallest things. He clearly has a lack of empathy for people he has hurt. He has had tons of chances over and over again to fix his mistakes. He completely disassociates anytime anyone gives him the most slight amount of confrontation. And finally, just how much of a coward he is. I have never seen anyone on the entire internet fold as fastly or as hard as Spoctor does. He's someone that a lot of people used to fear. Several commentators, along with most of the DeviantArt ranting community, worship the very ground he walked on. But he won't take any fucking responsibility for anything he does! This is why I hate the drama community so much. Prismate Luke, Creepshowart, The Names Junkie, Daft Pina, Omnia, Sonic93, and so many others. They would rather leave their entire channel that they spent years working on than taking even the most slight amount of accountability. I've dealt with people making videos on me that have gotten over 100,000 views. I took accountability and I also fought back. I didn't run away. I've had to deal with false murder allegations against myself, and even false pedo allegations, with fake Discord messages of me trying to get with a 13-year-old girl. And there's also a ton of other things that I had to deal with. Look at everything Hopeless Peaches had to deal with. That's the difference between those who are still left standing and those who have fallen. Septipaws is one of the biggest crybabies I know, yet even he has more of a backbone than Spoctor. At least he's still uploading. People have politely and softly reached out to Spoctor to take at least some accountability and fix his mistakes, and he didn't do it over and over again, and look where that got him. To me, no one who is innocent acts like that. Those are the actions of someone who has something to hide and is terrified of getting caught. Well, Spoctor, in an extremely avoidable way, you were caught. Now what are you gonna do? Leave the internet? You think this shit ain't gonna leak into your real life? Well, then you're in store for a very big reality check. I'll give you some friendly advice, Spoctor, and this is the last time I'll ever do so. You wanna no longer be on the internet and give up your channel? Fine! I think it would be good for everyone in the world if you do so. But if you want to just do things in your personal life and be left alone, then you have to address everything you did properly. Talk about what you've done to me, Peaches, Leo Convoy, Heaton, Aaron Tempest, and especially what you did holding on to that poor girl's 13-year-old nudes. Every single person who I have told this story to, who thought what Spoctor did was not a big deal, I just said to them, imagine if you were 16, you received nudes from a girl 3 years younger than you, and you held on to them until you were past the age of 18. Every single one of them said, wow, yikes. That sounds horrible. But Spoctor, there is still no hard evidence that you are 100% for sure a pedo. So you need to address this properly. Sure, there will be some people who still think you are, but enough will be convinced, and you will have a far easier time for the rest of your life. Ask yourself, what do you think is the smarter decision? Holding yourself accountable for just a few days? Or dealing with something for the rest of your life that will come back to bite you in the ass every few years? For me, the answer is obvious. I'm just gonna sit back and see if you make the right decision or not. Hello everybody, Editing Jar here. Guess what happened? As I was editing this video, because yes, this is a video completely edited by me, which is why it's so terrible, Spoctor deleted, well, his entire channel and everything else as well. Now granted, the only other thing aside from YouTube that I know he has is a Twitter, and while it is still a little possible that he can come back, after all, most social media accounts that I know of will allow you to undelete your account if you do it within a few days, weeks, months, and sometimes they even give you more time. But considering what type of person Spoctor is, I highly doubt he will. I think his decision is clear enough. People have been far too lenient on this guy for too long, and as soon as he was asked to take even the slightest amount of accountability, he just ran away like a coward. T-Moss Boss is the stupidest person I've ever talked about. Prismate Luke is the biggest liar I ever covered. Doodle Tones is the least bad person I've ever had drama with. But Spoctor, the Pusillanimous Award goes to you. Anyways, let's get back to our original scheduled program. Hi. Aside from Thuman so far, everybody who has gone after Peaches has been revealed to be a horrible human being. It always amazes me whenever I step back and look at all the dramas I've been a part of and how they all interconnect with one another. To think that this all started for me nearly a decade ago when I told people to stop bullying a 14-year-old eyes need to see the glory of the cleansing of YouTube. Spoctor was never a lizard, he was always a snake. And I would like to apologize to my viewers for going so soft on him in my first video. Oh, and by the way, one more thing before I get going. Stories at Pentagon are still pieces of shit. Sure, they were right about Spoctor in the end, but they still made up false allegations. So don't let those two come back.
Sunday morning, vacant doorway.